We have to put this in perspective. I mean, let's go and listen to some other words. Let's look at it. Look at the screen. Let's look at the screen and look at the other words. He said, I'm the captain of clickbait. How? His opinion was, what I do is I take small clips of videos that are taken out of context, and then I add sensational titles and headlines that don't even match the content of the video. Now, I have to say we know that that's not true. Every video that I place from this channel always have something to do with the thumbnail and the title. And none of the clips that I've published and the clips that he's referring to is the little pieces of clips that I've been placing out there from the interviews that I've conducted with him. None of them were taken out of context. You want to know why? Because I'm not just putting the clip out there, right? And then just letting you just listen to him say whatever he says, and I don't have any commentary to it. Every small clip, and I'm not talking about the 60-second shorts. Because you don't have enough time to do that in the short. Right. I'm talking about the small clips that he's referring to. I always add commentary to it and explain the background before and or after I say roll the tape and I publish what he said. So the problem that he's having while he's in his feelings is because I'm not feeding you all large pizzas. See, when he was up here for 2 hours, that was a large pizza that you all were served. When he was up here a second time for 3 hours, that was an extra large pizza that you all were served. And so now that I have both pizzas, all I'm doing is taking it slice by slice, and then I'm feeding the audience. I'm feeding the audience. I mean, to me, this can't be an educational channel for me to be the professor if I'm not going to make sure that you understand the content that you are listening to. Because I don't want anybody to misinterpret anything that I'm saying or anything Mr. Victor Conte is saying. So me being a clickbaiter, never once on YouTube that he can attribute that to me. All of the videos that I put out referring to the small clips have always been in proper context, and I added commentary to it before or after I posted what he said in the interview. So that's not true. Now, he also stated that I'm creating suspicion where there actually is none. I think this is more of a biggest lie and the most untrue statement out of everything that that man just said. So the reason why I say that is because Victor Conte said, excuse me, years ago in an interview, should people be suspicious of me? He said, yes, absolutely. So he told people, he invited everybody to be suspicious of him. So Manager Marty is not creating suspicion in the minds of anyone. That's number one. I don't think so. Number two, how am I creating suspicion when these are his words? These are his words. Mm-hmm. All the things that you all heard me put out were words of Victor Conte. You can't say it's slander. You can't say it's defamation of character. These are his words. So if people miss or interpret what they want, they're doing it based off of his words. So to say that I'm creating suspicion, no, I'm not. How am I creating suspicion? I'm not a SNAC fighter. So my performance ain't been enhanced. But the SNAC fighters' performances have been enhanced. So if I say that the SNAC program works, anybody can come back and say, you know what? I don't agree with everything you say, Manager Marty, but you're right, the SNAC program works. But when I had Victor Conte on here, in the first interview, I told him to his face, SNAC program works. And he agreed with me. And he said, science proves it.
And somebody talked about performance enhancing, and that it says on my website that the products enhance performance. Well, of course they do. And there's a lot of science that proves that they do.
But when I said it in the second interview, when I told him the SNAC program works, he said it was not the SNAC program that helped Terrence Crawford in any way, shape, or form beat Errol Spence. It was just because he's a great fighter. You know, the bottom line is people were trying to criticize me because they wanted Terrence Bud Crawford to win. and he did win, and he won in dramatic fashion. And his performance enhancement worked because of all the fights that he was in since the SNAC program, and it works. And everybody else over there, it works. I'm saying the same thing that I've been saying. Y'all just didn't want to admit it and talk about the topic. And we glad Mr. Victor's here so we can clarify.
Let me
I'm
also
not saying nothing no different.
let me also chime in and say that the reason Terrence Crawford won that fight was not because of SNAC. Okay.
Oh, I would have to disagree with you, Mr. Vic. I would have to disagree with you. Now I know Spence wasn't 100%, but we can't deny we cannot deny the SNAC program works. It works. We can't deny it. I mean, which one is it? You're the owner of the program. You're the owner of the products. How can you be in front of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in live time and the replay of the live and deny your own brand? I don't think that makes sense from a businessman's perspective. Me personally. Me personally, if you're trying to invite and entice others to be a part of the program, if you're trying to brand the program by having professional boxers and trainers wear your paraphernalia and your apparel, if they hear you say that it don't work and is not a part of no performance enhancement element and none of the fighters or Terrence Crawford or whoever, that sounds like that's a contradiction. Who wants to buy into a program when the owner is telling you one day it works and the next day it doesn't? I mean, we've provided education on this channel way before Victor got here. And I have to say this because, you know, people want to ask questions of why he came up here and all this. The thing is this. I was ambushed when he came here, Mr. Greg. I know nobody want to hear it, but we need answers. I didn't get the opportunity to rehearse. I didn't get the privilege of saying, well, let me make sure the questions that I have for him is already, you know, pre-written, preordained. So by the time he get here, I'll know what questions that I want to ask him. I wasn't afforded the opportunity and privilege to be prepared.
He forgot that.
Yeah, see, I wasn't prepared, so that they say. That's what people say, I wasn't prepared. But I know at this point in time, Mr. Greg, they know that I was well prepared. But the thing is, I didn't get the opportunity. I didn't get the luxury. I didn't get the privilege to tell my audience, hey, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, we will have Victor Conte here live in living color this Thursday at 7 o'clock. Get your super chats ready. I didn't get an opportunity to advertise it properly. I was ambushed.
And he forgot that.
Huh?
He forgot that because you remember we were on a panel when somebody in the chat said Victor Conte was in the chat.
That's correct. And I asked everybody that was on the panel, you were up there, please, can y'all dismiss yourselves?
Exactly.
Because I see him here now. Mr. Victor Conte's here. We didn't know that he was coming up here. I didn't know that he was coming up here. I would have made sure that the audience, the viewership, everything was increased. Like the viewership is increased right now, and he's probably watching, and so is the goons and everybody else. I'm glad y'all here. But what I'm saying is that we got to put this in proper perspective. I didn't put suspicion in any. You know what's crazy? A Netflix documentary came out in August. If that didn't arouse someone's suspicion, I don't know what did. Because that equally aroused some people's suspicions. So I'm not going to be the guy to take the blame for putting suspicions in other people's mind or creating suspicion. If nobody was suspicious before and they came here to get information and they became suspicious, I can affirm that it wasn't just because of anything that I said. It was because of the evidence that was used here and the testimony of Victor Conte himself.